Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl Neyssa with XPansive Taste. Here we expand our reality's ultimate greatness and learn to receive the best out of life. And so I've had this video idea for, I don't know, it's been eating away at me, and I figured out the path I want to take this into. So I want to talk about my experience on how misguided I've been from being an insecure girl to getting into the red pill world, the MGTOW world, and then that leading me into conservative ways of thinking. And so I want to fast forward this as much as I can because I want to express how wrong I've been about a lot of things, simply because it all comes back to when I was like super insecure. So I shared a story. Like, my most recent post was me talking about how I was so lonely in high school, being like a high schooler on a college campus and not being able to connect, that one of the first things that I did to try to connect was to just like lose my virginity. And yeah, I just found that that was a simple way. It was an easy kind of way to do it because no one really wanted to talk to me and be my friend because I was like the minor on a college campus, which is fair, but I still needed someone to talk to, and I was so lonely. And so I made my own decision. I was like, you know what? F it. I'm just gonna lose my virginity. And that ended up leading into like kind of like this reward system where it's just so easy to get guys to talk to me because like they all want to, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, I was finding connection through hookups or whatever. And that was ultimately bad because it exposed me to things that I did not have the tools to handle or cope with. Like, I was also very sheltered, and so I didn't have the experience of just being able to have boundaries and say no, or I didn't have the skills to really like have a backbone and just be like, no, I don't want to do that. And so I ended up getting like coerced into doing things and not feeling comfortable. And then also I was sexually assaulted by one of the guys in my neighborhood that I lost my virginity to. And that was very extremely traumatizing, and I felt worthless and weak in the moment, and I blamed myself because I was like, well, I don't know, he made me feel like a worthless whore because I am a worthless whore. And I didn't really I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even admit it to myself because I kind of just wanted to wash it away or just like pretend like it didn't happen because I didn't have the coping skills. And so, hold on, let me take a pause. So from that point on, I was just even more insecure than I ever was before because now I had this trauma. And but I also felt like the only way to erase the trauma was to create scenarios where I'm with another guy and maybe by chance he's going to treat me better than that guy. And really, like, when you put it side by side in comparison, it's like, yeah, any encounter with any guy is going to be better than that as long as he doesn't rape me. And so it was just me trying to get any kind of validation that I was worthy of something more, but it was never enough because really what I wanted was actual true connection, intimacy, love, friendship. And I wasn't getting that because, the guys didn't have to work for it. So it wasn't working. But I wasn't able to gather enough self-esteem to make that decision. And I was just in that cycle for a few years. And in that moment, I was also like so angry because part of the reason why I came to the conclusion that I could start just like, I don't know, having casual sex was because I felt like, the messaging from the women's liberation, from sexual liberation, was telling me, hey, this is going to be simple. This is something that's going to work. Like, don't let these guys shame you. But it's like, without the women also telling you that you need to have boundaries, like, it's just like, you can't tell a young girl that she can have sex with whoever she wants whenever she wants, and it means nothing, while not telling her that not everybody deserves your body, and that not everybody's going to treat you right, and you need to protect yourself. Like, that wasn't part of the conversation. It was very much like the people just telling you to go fuck around. Like, that voice was way louder than the more reasonable, like, hey, like, you know, be selective. So I had no skills at really being selective. I didn't have that. And so I was exposed to more and more pain. And so I was mad at the feminists for not, you know, for, I guess, misguiding me, but I was also trying to, so, like, from being that point, I just was like, okay, what's the other side talking about? And so I'm like, I don't know, a teenager in high school, and I'm looking into MGTOW, and I learn about the Red Pill movement, and, like, men going their own way, and they're talking about their men's right activism and, like, what they're going through, and they're talking about, like, you know, things that women are doing that are hurting them, like, yeah, like with, I guess they're complaining about child support and women taking half their money in divorce and all their property, and they're not happy about that. And there's a lot more. There's really a lot more. But, like, a divorce was a huge thing that they talked about. And also, like, when it comes to dating, they're, like, devaluing women in a way where they're just saying that it's not worth their effort, especially when women give sex so freely to the bad guys and aren't really giving the good guys attention or whatever. And the red pill guys are talking about the things that they value, and I'm just like, okay, let me learn what the guys are saying that they value so that I can be that, so that I can get treated better. And so I'm getting into the headspace where, like, okay, I gotta be submissive, I gotta be kind, I already was those things, honestly. Like, I grew up in church, I grew up going to church every single Sunday, and yeah, like, I was always groomed or raised to be, like, more of, like, a housewife type of person, which is probably why I could never really survive in the real world when I got there, and I didn't have any boundaries. But, you know, they're over here being like, okay, the woman has to learn how to cook and clean and be motherly and nurturing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's who I have to be, and that's what makes me worthy. And I'm also thinking, okay, now I have to upsell myself, because not only are they telling me this is what I need to do, but also they're telling me that because of my sexual history, that makes me less valuable. And so not only do I already feel worthless because I have been victimized, now I'm thinking, okay, other men are going to see me as less valuable too, so I have to do more to prove myself. And so really that just turned into, like, just the same thing over and over again. Like, whatever the feminists were telling me, sexual liberation, blah, blah, blah. But then also the guys were saying, you're a whore, and you can't, I don't know, why would a guy buy the cow without the, why would a guy buy the milk when he gets why would the guy buy the cow when he gets the milk for free? And so I'm just like, that was so annoying. So really there was no winning, because I'm like, okay, I'm this good girl, I guess, in every other way except that I have this sexual history and I don't know how to stop because I have no self-esteem and no self-worth. And I'm gonna have to take another pause. But anyway, I do eventually start to heal when I finally accept myself that, yes, I was assaulted and it really hurt me. And I have to make better choices for myself. I decided that my words matter and what I want matters, because that was something that I kept fighting with earlier. I was like, like, obviously he did that to me because I don't matter, my words don't matter, and what I want doesn't matter. And so eventually, like, I'm 20 years old now, and or 21 actually, 21, I decide my words matter, what I want matters. And so I still wanted love and connection and all those things. And so I knew that for myself, like, I still imagined myself being married and having a family. And I knew that one of the things that I would actually love to do was to be a stay-at-home mom and, yeah, be able to homeschool and all that. Like, I just want to, I'm an introvert really in a homebody. And so I wanted to create that kind of life for myself while also using my art to get myself in a better place, because my art really, in my writing, my songwriting, really helped me heal and express myself in ways that I had trouble expressing myself. Yeah, and so I had this idea, whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna create my art and I'm gonna be this big star, blah blah blah. But regardless, what happened is that, yeah, I mean, also, like, I started going back to church. And so I now found myself where I was like a conservative, I guess. And I mean, I don't think I really tried to be. I just thought, because I want a family, because I want to be married, because I now understand that my body is sacred, that makes me a conservative. But well, yeah, actually, like, it was actually my husband now. I'm not wearing my ring right now, but my husband, he was the one who was like more, he's not liberal, he's a communist. And so he was the one who actually was like, Neyssa, like, just because you want those things doesn't mean you have to be a conservative, and like, you've been brainwashed, Neyssa. And it took me some time, because like, he wasn't really able to explain to me how I was brainwashed without getting emotional and just saying like, Neyssa, like, this is just stupid, how do you not get this? But eventually I got it. Like, wow, I came to realize, and I'm sharing this now because it really matters to me, that I let other women know that just because you want to be a wife and a mother and have children, it doesn't mean that you have to align yourself with the current politics that has been that takes on this hat of Christianity. Like, that's like, I am a Christian. I believe Jesus is Lord, he is King, and he's really restored me in so many different ways. Like, I'm so grateful, so beyond grateful. And so I have to say that, but I also have to be able to admit that what's going on right now with ever since 2016, when Trump first became a president, like, he's always been a bad person. To simply put it, he's always been a bad person. MAGA has always been a bad movement. And the whole Make America Great Again idea was not about making America great again, because it simply has always, America has had a full history since the beginning of time of being oppressive to minorities, whether it was first Native Americans, and then it was 400 years of slavery, and then it was Jim Crow, and then it was segregation, and then it was the war against drugs and the incarceration of Black men. And it's only a small minority of people. Like, I know we think about the 1950s housewife, but even the 1950s housewife was like on medication because she was just that miserable. 1950s housewives, like, sure, they were part of the community, but they're also like drinking wine and like drugging themselves. And they were depressed. Like, let's not forget that they were depressed, and they were told lies about their bodies. They were told lies about their mental health. Like, it was not good for women. It was simply not good. America was simply never really a great place for most people. We could pretend it was better, but it just wasn't. And other than that, there's also like the 1950s housewife, you have to also remember that that was only available to white women, because black women always had to work. Since the beginning of time, black women in America have always had to work, and they never had the privilege of being the 1950s housewife. She had to work. And I feel like there's so much that, let me take another break. Really, what I want to bring it back to is that loving God, wanting a family, wanting to be a mother and a wife, that is not just a conservative thing. That is simply a human thing. It is a human thing before it is falling under the label of conservative, of MAGA, of Republican. That is not solely, you don't have to like have an identity in that in order to want the things that you want. Like those desires, they're simply human, they're natural, and those things belong to the left too. They belong to everybody. That is your human rights. And so when we think about human rights, right now, all the things that we say was supposed to make America great, was supposed to be that we on this land are supposed to be free, and we have our human rights, we have our civil rights. And at this moment, our civil rights are being removed. And right now, it is the brown people, it is the Latinos, the Hispanics of America, whether they are documented or undocumented, they are being targeted in a way that is against the American human rights, the civil rights. They're getting racially profiled, even if they are documented, even if they are U.S. citizens, even if they were born here, they are still getting targeted and being called criminals. They are getting kidnapped brought into detention centers without due process. Like it's unjust. They're getting executed. They are getting beaten. They are getting killed. They are getting raped. They are getting assaulted. They are scared. They are hiding. They are getting separated from their families. And this is not okay. In no form is it okay. In no form is it just. Like, I think a lot of people don't know that being an undocumented immigrant is not a felony, okay? It's a misdemeanor. It's as bad as, like, I don't know, stealing candy from a grocery store, as petty theft. Like, I don't understand why they're being painted as violent criminals. Well, I do understand it's racism. Because of racism, they're getting painted as violent criminals when they're children. They're regular people. They're regular people that do pay taxes, actually. Even as an undocumented immigrant, you do still have to pay taxes. It's under a different kind of filing system. But yeah, they do pay taxes. They do contribute to this society. They are important people. They are essential workers. They are people, and they have the rights. They have the right to have all the civil rights that they're meant to have on this land. And if you are someone who really believes that the law is always just, and always correct, and whatever the president says must go, then do remember that there was a time where slavery was legal. There was a time where segregation was legal. There was a time where so many things were legal. And it was always wrong. It was wrong. Just because it's the law doesn't mean it's right. And you have the power to not stand by the things that are wrong. Like, you have the power to say, no, this isn't right. And even as a Christian, you have to, like, really think about what the Bible says, what Christianity is about, who Jesus really is, because it all comes down to who is Jesus. Yes, Jesus talked about discipline and he talked about law, but he most of all talked about love, and the love of people, and the love of people who are poor, who are struggling, who do need our help, who do need our voices, who do who need, like, that's it, like the people who are the lesser of us, like it's not about whoever is in power. Like we're not supposed to be siding on the side of power, but siding on the side of love, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if I worded that correctly. Above everything, Jesus taught compassion. He spoke about compassion and love for one another, and he displayed that so perfectly. And as believers, it's our duty to display that love, to share that love, like without any judgment. Like I keep thinking about I mean, one of the stories that touches me the most is when the woman who was an adulteress, she got caught in the act, and the crowd, they pulled her into the crowd, and they were about to throw stones at her, and they were cursing this woman. They were ready to kill her, and Jesus said, "Whoever has never sinned can cast the first stone." And nobody could. Because to simply point a finger, to throw anyone under the bus for whatever reason, the color of their skin, wherever they're from, whether they're documented or undocumented, whatever reason, why treat someone so unjustly as if we are the other perfect model? It's wrong. It's wrong. What is happening right now is wrong. What ICE is doing to people is wrong. It's wrong. And President Trump is wrong. Wrong in every way. By the way, I did not vote for him. Voted for Kamala. And yeah, just had to make that clear, because even though by the time I voted, I was no longer aligning with my conservative beliefs. Like, yeah. That's all for this video. Thank you.